Okay, then we go on to letter B, resolution for proposed environmental health agent status.
I can fill you in on some of the details there. What is in front of you is a resolution simply to acknowledge that we are exploring the possibility of becoming an agent of the state for inspections and licensing of many different types of businesses. It includes hotels, motels, swimming pools, restaurants, vending machines, and this is all allowed by statute. And we do have a presentation. Mike, thank you. There are many counties in the state already doing this, and we'll put that up on the screen. And while that's happening, what the state allows is for counties to take over that function that is currently performed by the state. So these are existing regulations that the state has for these facilities. Currently it's done by state employees. What the statutes allow us to do is to take over that function from the state, becoming an agent of the state, so that we can perform those functions locally. What that does is allow more local control. It's not more government, it's local government. It's not enacting new ordinances or new regulations on these facilities, but allows us to help those facilities at a local level rather than relying on the state. What we would be doing in looking at this, and why we wanted to come to you first, is that we would be out in the community talking to those facilities, getting their feedback on what's working and what isn't working the way the state does it, so that we can help improve those services. What we need to do is look at, you can roll to the next slide there, please, Mike. That's kind of a, pardon me?
I can't see it on my screen.
Oh, okay. So this is a representation of the counties in, what's the color coding there? The white is those that,
County inspector.
yeah, that are county inspected. The pink or what color is that? Peach area are the ones that the state does currently. So you can see that most of the counties, or north and south of us, already do this service. We've talked to the counties north of us that are agents of the state to get kind of some information on how it's working for them, the amount of staff it takes to do that. We've had conversation with the state too, just preliminary, just to see, you know, talk about the statute if it's possible, what does it entail. And we need to do more homework on that. So that's what we're talking about today, is just letting you know that we would like to do more homework, get that out in front of the public, because it does affect a lot of various businesses, including tourist rooming houses. You heard a citizen today talk about line 16 of the resolution, and I'll just read that line, which says, whereas the community supports and requests regulation for tourist rooming house facilities. You know, that is true. True in the sense that this, being an agent of the state, would allow us to inspect and license tourist rooming houses. And again, this is existing state regulations. This is not new regulation, but it would be enforced by the county instead of the state. Where she took exception is community supports and requests regulation. You know, if you struck that line, and if you wanted to consider striking that line, it does not change the intent of the resolution, which allows us to go forward in looking at this program. This program is much bigger than just tourist rooming houses. This is a very expansive environmental program. It's a big undertaking, which is why it takes a bit of research. What we would be looking at is what it takes to do, how many facilities we have, how long does it take to do the inspections for each that is required, what is the staffing level that is required to do that, what other expenses we would have to do that, and then set the fees accordingly. The state charges fees for this service now. They have a set fee for each one of these facilities and inspections that would happen. We can set our own fee. It can be higher, it can be lower. Whatever fee we charge, 10% of that goes to the state because they have administration over us as a contractor. But our intent would be that we would recover our costs. It would not be a burden on the county financially to do this. The intent is that it improves the health and safety of those living here and visiting here, visiting those facilities, using those facilities. and doing those inspections that are already on the books. The intent again would be to recover those costs. And if we can do that for relatively the same fee or even slightly higher, who knows what, but that's what we need to determine, is where those fees would fall. If we did it, this is how much it would cost, this is what the fees would be, this is the benefits to the community if we did that. We would be coming back to you at least 2 or 3 more times with a resolution and with a fee structure and with budget. So this is just the first talking about this, just to let people know that we are talking about it. And I think the intent was served. I mean, we wanted to get that out in the public and recognize that tourist rooming houses was perhaps a part of this, so that, you know, we weren't hiding that fact from anybody, and we certainly welcome feedback on that and all the other issues and all the other facilities that will be encompassed with this, but looking for at least some support in exploring this idea.
Looking at this number 16 on this, I believe that should be omitted from there, being that the tourist rooming house ordinance was rescinded. I think we should take this number one out of there. I don't think it should be in there.
Was that your intent when you said strike that?
Strike that?
Right, if you considered striking that would be fine. It still has the intent of us looking at becoming an agent of the state. It would still include rooming, tourist rooming houses, because that's part of the state function, but it doesn't say in your resolution that there is community support and a request to do that for tourist rooming houses. That it'd certainly be okay to strike that if that's your will.
Do you need a motion to strike that?
Well, if you wanted to do a motion to adopt the resolution with that change, that may be appropriate. If that's your intent.
It's not very,
Is it possible to strike 17 as well?
no, we need to have a motion before we start striking it.
Yes.
I'd make a motion to approve the resolution deleting line 16.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Coles and second by Ms. Dennis to approve the resolution with striking line 16. Any further discussion? Mr. McCoy?
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion that on line 17, that we strike will not only increase compliance of tourist rooming houses, but strike that portion of that. So it will read, whereas the environmental health status will offer services that enhance the well-being, health, and safety of the community.
I want to second that. I second that motion.
You second the amendment? Any further discussion, Mr. Sneeder?
I think it's appropriate to strike those words too, because there is a perception throughout the community that this is still some sort of backdoor attack on these facilities, and I think we need to remove that perception.
Okay. Mr. Huff?
I was remiss in talking about one item of this. This is not only exploring the agent of the state, but also some well testing. We could be a lab and test well water. That's another, it's not through DATCAP, it's through, well, part of DATCAP and the DNR. But that is part of this, what we would be exploring as well. And that would be a separate item that we would bring forward to you. But that's one of the programs that we're looking at doing.
Any further discussion? We have an amendment to vote on first, okay? We have a motion and a second to strike. Okay? That's what we're voting on. All is in favor of the motion of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries for the amendment. Okay, is there any further discussion on the other item? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Of the resolution? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.